I started today with confidence, which was honestly my first mistake. There's something deeply suspicious about mornings that just feel promising. It usually just means that the universe is just setting up a punchline and you, unfortunately, are it. Anyway, welcome back to the SuperChonk show. You are here, I'm here, and together we are going to continue this slow, graceful degeneration into reviewing things that blur the line between audio equipment and emotional dependency. And here's today's subject, the Hidiz MyLin. And yes, we have another one, another 2D character with better posture, better hair, and probably a better life trajectory than most of us watching this. And her name is Lin. Her full name is Ruoxue Lin. If you want to feel like you're being respectful in a situation that has already lost all sense of dignity. And don't worry, if you're here for just Lin, well, she will be here consistently watching, waiting, and very probably judging. And let's open the box. Immediately, well, you can see Lin is here, right on the front, playing with her hair like she doesn't have deadlines, responsibilities, or a growing sense of existential fatigue. Of course, they want you to know that this is MyLin, and below that you actually have the high-res audio logo because nothing reassures you more than a label that insists on its own quality. Flip the box over and you get specifications in 3 different languages, Chinese, English, and Japanese, because confusion, like disappointment, should be accessible to everyone. And of course, because Lin is the star of the show here, she is here again in chibi form, smaller and somehow even more powerful. Removing the lid inside, the earphones sit there calmly, patiently, like they already know how this is going to go. You get 2 sets of ear tips, bass and balance, because even your ears are now forced to make a decision you're not emotionally prepared for. Then there are the tuning nozzle thingies. Black ring for low frequency emphasis, clear ring for treble, and red ring, which is installed by default, the balanced option. A word that gets used very loosely these days. And then we arrive at what some of you have been waiting for. The acrylic stand of Lin. This is peak, this is the apex. The reason justification becomes optional. It's Lin in the stand form. It doubles as an earphone stand, which is a very practical excuse for something that absolutely did not need to be this elaborate. And below that you get some stickers, a cleaning cloth, the base of the stand, and a pouch with cables inside. Functional items, necessary things that try to convince you that this is still a normal purchase. Build quality. This is where things get surprisingly grounded. The shell is a zinc cast chassis, solid, dense, the kind of weight that makes you feel like at least one thing in your life isn't truly hollow. And this is based on the MS2 Pro design by Hidiz as well. And honestly, it works. It's comfortable, durable, and feels like it can take quite a bit of abuse, which is good because life tends to deliver that whenever you ask for it not to. The finish is bright and reflective, not subtle. It catches light in a way that almost feels like it's trying too hard, but somehow just sort of gets away with it. The faceplate this time round has been changed to carbon, and not just plain carbon, it's layered with pink and purple glitter elements that shimmer depending on how the light hits it. It looks dramatic, like it has something to say, but refuses to say it directly. Inside, it's a hybrid setup, a 10.2mm dual magnet dual cavity dynamic driver that is paired to a high frequency balance armature. Different parts handling different responsibilities, a system built on cooperation, which is ironic considering how most things usually just fall apart. The cable is an oxygen-free copper cable that is terminated to 2-pin width. And of course, because this is a MyLin review, we have to talk about the stand again. It's made of acrylic, it's sturdy, well made, and genuinely kind of functional. You can hang multiple earphones on it, which is both impressive and slightly concerning, depending on how deep you are into the hobby. And now, sound. This review is done with the stock red nozzle, the balance configuration, or at least the version of balance we have agreed to accept. The MyLin is a V-shaped earphone with a slight raise in bass. You can hear that immediately. Bass come across as impactful and dynamic. There's a sense of movement, of energy that makes music feel alive rather than just present. Kick drums kick with authority. There is a physicality to it that adds excitement to the overall presentation. Bass is present, and very importantly, mid-bass isn't overly scooped out like what's currently fashionable. That decision gives the sound more body, more weight, and contributes to the sense of explosiveness in the low end. It isn't the fastest bass out there, but it's not slow or muddy either. It sits in that middle ground where you can trade a bit of speed for improved dynamics. And honestly, that trade kinda works. Overall, the bass is plentiful, has good body, and doesn't overpower the rest of the frequencies. It's controlled enough to keep things balanced while still being kinda fun. Mid-range. Male vocals come across full and powerful. There is a richness that gives voices a more grounded presence. Pair that with a tasteful raise into the upper mids, and female vocals sound clean, engaging, and nicely forward without becoming shouty. The overall tone leans slightly warm, not overly coloured, just enough to keep things from feeling clinical. Resolution for the asking price is genuinely solid. You can hear small nuances in the tracks, details that might get lost on cheaper sets. If you're upgrading from something in the lower price range, this jump in clarity is immediately quite noticeable. Instrument separation is also well handled. You can pick out individual lines without everything collapsing into each other, which makes it enjoyable for listeners who like to focus on specific elements in a track. Treble extension is decent. It provides a good level of air and spaciousness without pushing into harshness. Compared to the MS2 Pros, it feels more spacious, more open. There's a bit more breathing room up top, and very importantly, it avoids that sharp, fatiguing edge. There is no piercing glare here. Instead, it stays smooth with slightly softer transients that makes long listening sessions more comfortable. It doesn't try to impress you aggressively, it just stays out of your way. Soundstage. I would describe it as a small hall rather than a large venue. There is space between instruments, left and right separation is clear, but the boundaries feel quite defined. You are aware of its limits. It's not vast or limitless, but it doesn't feel cramped either, just contained and controlled. Comparisons. At this price range, you're looking to compare it against things such as the Kefine Quatio. You are looking at a warmer, thicker presentation versus something more dynamic and energetic. The Quatio leans into that richer, more euphoric tone with thicker note weights. The MyLin, on the other hand, offers better resolution and more noticeable dynamics. If you want warmth, go with the Quatio. If you want engagement and energy, MyLin makes more sense. And of course, you have to compare it to its predecessor, the MS2 Pro. It is an improvement. The MS2 Pros had a slightly rounded treble that could feel a bit too soft. The MyLin addresses that. It's airier, more defined, and overall more engaging. It feels like a refinement rather than a reinvention. And that brings us here. I didn't really expect to like MyLin as much as I did because to me it's kind of like a MS2, but I was proven wrong. It's fun, it's engaging, it doesn't blindly follow trends, and it delivers a sound that is easy to enjoy without overthinking. This gets a strong A-, which is coincidentally the kind of result that feels good but still leaves you wondering what you could have done differently. Anyway, thank you for watching the SuperChonk Super Audio Show. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the show, do press the like and subscribe button right here down below. If you want to see more waifus and me doing silly things with waifus, hit the subscribe button. That's it. I hope to see you guys soon.